What is up, my subconscious Jedis? It is Logan here. Time is 9:14 p.m. Sorry about the noise in the background, it'll go away in a second here. And today I have some really interesting dreams to share with you. So this is day 3 of the lucid dreaming journey, as you guys hopefully know and have been following along with, or will in the future. And we'll just jump right into it. So a little bit of background, actually, I guess we won't jump right into it. Last night I had about a 2-hour nap. I was watching the movie Jumanji just before I fell asleep. And generally, when I get a little bit of sleep before waking up and going back to sleep, I always have more vivid dreams. Perhaps this is true with you. Drop in the comments if this is true. We'll come to a consensus. But at least with myself personally, I know that this works almost every time, on demand or just when I fall asleep watching a movie and then, it's 12 o'clock at night, I need to go to bed because I wake up at 6 for work. So, let's see what we wrote last night. 3:15, so this will actually be what I wrote this morning, I should say. I record at night, which is why my time frames, like in the last video, I used the wrong date, get a little wonky, but just know each video is the morning of the video is when I dreamt, or I recorded my dreams for the night before. It makes sense if you think about it. All that matters is that I wrote down my dreams, and this is the last entry. On a side note, real quick, if you do take a nap and write down a dream, or you dream and you remember it, your dream recall is good, write that dream down. It doesn't have to be every morning. It's also one of the reasons why I decided to record at night, to show that it doesn't matter what time of day it is, write down your dream, share with the world what you dream, if you're here at least. Anyways, here we go. I had very vivid dreams, exclamation point, okay? So, like I said in the past, I'm going to keep cutting in here with side notes about my own personal writing style, is that I write to myself for myself. I'm reading them to you, but the whole idea of this lucid dreaming journey is to focus on myself, making sure that I write down every single morning, and have you guys kind of as my responsibility, almost as if you were my kids, that I need to, satisfy your need for this. And I want to see you guys as well writing down your dreams every morning, or at least commenting every now and then saying, this is my dream, that would be awesome if you would share it. But mainly just to keep you on track. Look for my video, you see it every night, every morning, wake up, write down your dream. I'll stay on track, you stay on track. Together in about 3 weeks from now, maybe episode 20 or 14 even, I'm hoping, we should have some really in-depth, maybe even some lucid dreams by that point, hopefully. But no guarantees. So, back at it. First sentence, that took a long time. This time, I even remember some. That's good, because in the past couple nights, I've just remembered bits and pieces. I haven't been sleeping very well. I haven't been able to get to bed till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. That's okay. Every time, every single night, I write down a good chunk of text if I can. Quantity over quality at first. If you don't have any quality of dream to speak of, you make up with that by having really good quantity of shit to say about it. Man, I didn't dream. I really wanted to dream. It was just, I thought about it all day. I did reality checks all day, which you should be doing. 10 to 15 really good ones, 15 to 30 just okay ones, one of the two, or even more. If you could do 1,000 reality checks a day, you probably lucid dream every night. But the thing is that you want that quality. If you have too much quantity, like 1,000, like I just exaggerated there, you're not going to really ask yourself, am I dreaming right now? Is this reality around me real? While I'm recording this video, I just thought to myself, am I really recording this video, or am I dreaming about recording this dream video? Ask yourself right now, do a reality check. I've done it for you guys before. Take your 10 fingers, put your fingers through your palm, and really expect that they're going to go through. Hold your nose, try and breathe in. In a dream, you generally will be able to, especially if you're, breathing in and expecting a breath to come out of it. That way you won't have like a false reality check. That's a thing. You want to really, truly test your ability to test reality. It's a reality check. Check your reality. One more good one that I've been doing recently is ask yourself how you got to where you are right now. See, I'm sitting in a chair right now. I'm not on my normal bunk beds, but I do recall, sitting down in this chair. It makes sense to me. But in a dream, you might ask yourself, how'd I get here? And you just won't have an answer, and that'll alert you to, hey, I'm dreaming. There's no reason I should be here. I just teleported from the beach or something, no. Where were we? I gotta not get sidetracked every sentence. I'm not trying to dissect it, but then again, I kind of am. Everything I'm giving you guys here is tips and tricks that are both reinforcing it for myself, and is a good reminder to you for those who know, and tips for those who don't. So here's how the dream landscape goes. To start with the setting, my visual senses. I try to cover all the senses while I'm writing here. Imagine a large building like a hospital. This is what the building I was in was like. Now, in hindsight, I can give you a little more detail. Picture a big, basically a lunchroom cafeteria type thing from high school or middle school, whatever. And it's 2 floors tall with 1 spiral staircase in the corner. And other than that, it's just a big box with the staircase going up. And then there's like a little office space at the top, kind of, or like a computer lab. It doesn't make sense. If I were to picture the full building, it would look like a Minecraft foot if a foot had an ankle coming out of it, because that would be the 2nd floor with a little box. But way too in depth. You don't have to picture it that good. You know, it looks like a hospital. I just remembered. So I wrote this. I just remembered because while I was writing, I just recalled another part of the dream. I wanted to get it down as soon as I can. It's okay to go out of order, but it's good to keep a good order to your dream. So this was a little sloppy of me. When I wake up, first thing I'm thinking about is my dreams, not how you guys are going to take them. And that's why these videos will be a little unprofessional. I'm using a webcam next to my bunk beds. Don't worry about it. You know, we're here to write down dreams, not judge each other. So I just remembered flirting with this staff girl when I first get to this place, because I'm not quite sure really what it was supposed to be. It was just a place. They were all police officers, it turned out. So at this point, I didn't know there was people walking around this building, you know, like staff members. I think they were uniformed, and I just kind of had this feeling like these are police. They didn't say I'm police, you know, I'm a pig or whatever. I knew they were police, and that's very strange for me, very weird. Not where you normally find Logan. So I noticed they're all police. They're all police officers, it turned out. The boss was my old boss from Dairy Queen. So one of the jobs I have had in the past is I worked at Dairy Queen, and my boss was this lady named Mary. She was kind of a round lady. She was very, very nice, except she had a very good, like, working temper. One of those people that is just go, 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 go. They're running around, they're doing a mad dash for things. They're kind of angry, maybe throwing shit. Like, a lot of times she'd grab me and move me across, but she was always very nice about it, which is a weird combination of emotions to have for a person. Very boss-like. She was bossy. So it turns out it was my boss from Dairy Queen. I wrote in parentheses Mary for my personal self. You guys now know who Mary is. And she was fuming mad the entire dream. So this is just, you know, probably what I think of her portrayed in my dreamscape. She's always mad. Somehow I ended up joining the police force, and my first time training, I suppose it was, because it's just the first, you know, I just jumped right in, and I'm a part of this team, so I imagine it was training because I was also paired up with that cute girl from the beginning. I don't know who the girl was. I suppose it was paired with the young girl that I met in the beginning. Okay, so that's what I just said. I was paired up with the young girl. Though I said young, I put in parentheses she's my age, and that was for you guys, because I don't want you to think I had, like, the 7-year-old girl on a leash that was following around or whatever. Not quite how it went, you know. She took me outside to what seemed to be a huge yard of tents full of people, like a refugee camp. We entered one small rectangular tent to find some people inside. Page flip. I wrote like 4 pages on this stream. You guys are about to find out. And it's always kind of a good feeling. You might not always have time for it, though, so really get down those good details. First thing, scribble, 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 get those details down, the order, main things. You're going to remember the dream. I wrote this out in the most detail I can because I wake up at 6 o'clock and I don't have to be to work till 8. I have a little bit of time. I would suggest for you guys, you know, you should be getting a lot of sleep depending on your age. We'll just go with 8 hours if you can. I'm a hypocrite. I go to bed around midnight when I finally fall asleep. It's 9:30. I'm hoping to be in bed by 10 tonight to see if that makes a difference. Each night I usually tell you guys when I go to bed. Though last night it's like 11:30 and I recorded earlier. Anyways, back to the dream. Where were we? Yeah, inside, so we just gone into this rectangular tent, and inside, maybe 5 to 10 people I found are crammed inside this tent. So on the outside, it didn't look like a big tent. It was like a camping tent for 4 people. You see a big rectangle, you know, teepee-looking thing. I go inside, and there's 5 to 10 people, like elbow space around hitting each other. The tent was just enough room to sit or stand. They were all sitting or standing, but there was not much room around them. Didn't seem to bother them, but I noticed it and thought it was peculiar. So only a few moments into being there, I realized all of them were old friends, or people who generally were good friends in real life that I just don't communicate with anymore. Now this is weird. I have never put a classification on a person as this kind of situation, but it turns out to be a very specific situation that seems to happen all throughout your life. So, or at least in my case, these are what they all had in common, a weird common point. They were all friends that treated me well, gave me no reason not to like them. We were just separated by time and distance, and, you know, distant. But it was so cool. It was like a reunion of my my true good friends that I just didn't, communicate with anymore, like I said. I went ahead and I listed them out. There was Jacob Lee Myers, someone I went to school with, Mike Chester the molester. I was working Hurricane Irma disaster relief. Quick little put on this, and there's this old guy who always talked about his 30-year younger wife or 20 years younger, and all the great sex they had. And he was just the funniest guy. These guys are all really big, really big little parts of my life, if that makes sense. They added just a little bit of happiness to it. I don't have any bad memories really with these people, but there are things that weren't life-changing, and I'm not gonna, I know when I'm 60, and because of this dream, maybe I will remember them, but they're not gonna be like some huge part of my life, if that makes sense. Anyways, there's some older men from Hurricane Irma working in Florida. They had bags of weed, I found after being happy to see them, and exclaiming that, hold on, I scribbled so fast sometimes that it's hard to read, exclaiming that these were all my buddies to the girl. Oh, okay, so I explained what I just explained to you. I explained to my partner in crime, my teacher, my police officer girlfriend thing. I gave them advice about having the weed without us police finding out. So I was like, look guys, this is awesome, but you need to, keep this on the D-low. We're literally like in a containment camp full of police in this hospital thing. I was telling my friends how to stay chill, but not too chill that we have to put them behind bars and feed them 2 square meals a day, So I gave him advice about the police finding out, and about this time the dream cuts out into a fishing scene for a short time. So I think this could just be my dream recall being out of order. This is day 3 or 4 of writing down, and clearly there is much more detail in this dream than I've had in maybe months even. This is exciting for me. I was really excited writing this down. I was going like 500 miles an hour because it's the most I've ever remembered in a long time. And if you've been writing down each night, or if you're on night 4, night 3, whatever we're on, you were probably starting to notice this too. I wasn't really lucid. I wasn't making conscious decisions. I was a passenger riding along this stream, but it was a passenger that, when I woke up, stepped out of the car, metaphorically, I still had like the little, welcome bag or whatever they gave me in the beginning. I remembered the dream, basically. Alright, sorry for the huge pauses here. I hope you guys are following along. So I gave my friends the advice about the weed. My dream cuts out into the fishing scene, which I was just explaining, I think. And then it just went back to the police thing. So I was just fishing in a boat on the water. I think it was beautiful. I don't really have that many senses from this time. And most of the things I remember were all visual or auditory from me talking to the girls, but as of now, my sense recall isn't 6 out of 6 perfect or anything crazy. I don't remember what I smelled throughout this whole time. Maybe the weed was dank, but I don't remember, So that's just how it's going so far. It's more just like a linear story. Like I watched a movie, maybe had my ears plugged the whole time. I just watched it, but it's a cool movie, and it's my subconscious movie, and that's why we're subconscious wizards, because eventually we're going to conjure these subconsciousnesses and throw in our own input, and senses will all be there. It's not going to be just visual forever. Hopefully not even for that long, I should add. So we cut out of the fishing thing, just short little snap thing. Then back to the police hospital thing. We're inside now. There's a lobby of people, and one door with a spiral staircase that leads to our workrooms. This is as I was explaining, like the Minecraft foot or some block, like a big rectangle bottom, little vertical rectangle, like an elevator shaft. It's my staircase, and then a little box is a workroom. Our workroom, one floor, and a hotel-like sleeping room on another. Okay, so I think there was actually 2, or maybe on the second floor they're connected. But anyways, picture like jail cell doors just lined up along this corridor, and this is where we all slept. This was our police sleeping arrangements. That was never relevant. It's just something I remembered, so I threw it in there because it's kind of cool that I can recreate this dream scene that I just subconsciously made on a whim last night or whatever. So that's what it was like. I want to add about all my old friends when I looked at Mike. Okay, so I looked at one of my buddies. This was interesting. And I'll just read it to you. Maybe I explained well enough scribbling down. I'm trying to give you guys the more explained version so it makes sense as far as characters and, perception and everything. So when I looked at Mike, one of my old buddies, his left eye was large and black and blue. And I guess it would be this one for you guys. When I saw this, I had a flashback of sorts to him having a surgery performed while he was trained to be something like a spy or a saboteur. The eye was a calculated, disorientating piece. So this is really weird. He's not that kind of person. No, I don't know any spies or anything, but it's like I suddenly had this memory imported of his eye when I looked at him as to why it was there, and it was like this whole backstory where he was undergoing surgery, and they were like makeup artists adding onto his eye, and it kind of looked like I'm trying to think. There's like a character or something that has an eye like this, maybe like Splinter Cell. No. It'll come to me sometime in a later video. Maybe I'll be like, oh, that's what it was from. But his eye was all black, and it was meant to distract me. That's what I thought. I thought that the police around me, perhaps even, in this specific scenario that we're in this hospital building thing, didn't know who he really was because they were all distracted on the physical deformities of his eye. And something about Mike is that there are some physical deformities people get caught up on. Now that I think deeper into it, it's probably me just realizing, I feel bad because people don't see him for who he is. They don't see past the eye, and I looked at it and thought it was out of place because I know who he is, but the rest of the world doesn't. Sorry, I paused it for a second there. I thought someone was coming downstairs. Anyways, so after the mic situation, it teleports back. I think we might even have been in the lobby at this point. I just made a side note about that note about Mike's eye. So we're in the lobby, me, the girl, and some random people are in a waiting room of sorts, waiting to be admitted into our police hospital prison thing. I don't know what it is. We're just adding names on here. Our building. And my boss, Mary was just running around. She was fuming mad. I even saw her crying at times, which made me kind of, I don't know, think about that. But I think as a person, she was very emotionally fluctuating. Her husband was going through surgery and stuff when I knew her, and so this is probably, again, just my subconscious, portrayal of her person in its entirety all at once. It's just her fluctuating through all these emotions, running around doing work. I'm sure she would love to hear that's the real reason, and hopefully she never does. She'd probably be mad, but it's funny because it's true, she'd probably actually appreciate it. Anyways, back to the story. Alright, so the work level floor, I don't know if we're there yet, but I started describing it. The work level floor was this computer room. So picture like a big square with just computer stations lined up next to each other, and this is where people were typing away frantically, and they were working, these police people at dispatch. I actually think it probably was supposed to be a dispatch for our people working on the ground floor. I'm not really sure. It had no real significance to the story, but it was another detail I wrote down as it was interesting to me. Set up like in high school, blah blah blah. I just told you all that basically. Now that I picture it as a computer room setup. I already did that. I never did any work throughout this whole dream. I thought that was funny and noteworthy. The girl I followed around was easily and often upset, and I found myself throughout the entire dream, without being lucid and deciding to do this, I was telling jokes and trying to calm her down to success. So she would get worked up over something. I don't even think I can remember any phrases she said or anything, but she would be worked up visually. I could see this, and I don't remember what I said, but I'd come up with some witty stuff, and we both laugh it off and continue around doing our work stuff. I succeeded at making her happy with jokes several times, and I wrote, "That's all I have time for." I don't recall much touch, smell, or sound besides, occasional voices, so I must have had some voices when I woke up that I remembered, but I don't know. And that is all for our journey entry today. Journey entry, I guess that's fitting. This is our lucid dream journey, and these are my dream journal entries. So, my aspiring subconscious wizards, that's you, that's me. Together, we're like Jedi Knights of the mind. I hope you guys like this, and subscribe if you want to keep up with my daily videos. Every morning, I want to hear you guys be writing them down, or I don't really want to hear you too close to me. I don't want you to know who I am too much, but I want you guys to be writing down every morning, and because of you guys, I'm going to be writing down every morning. And every night, you'll find on YouTube, this YouTube channel, or I also post a link on Reddit. I have a Reddit account called Let's Get Lucid with underscores between them. I post every day there, and I actually post the videos here on YouTube, and as you should know by episode 3 that we're going to just continue doing this every day. I don't know if I'll call it a vlog. I have some subreddit posts and stuff where I'm trying to get a fan base going here so you can spread the word, and YouTube likes me a little bit. But I'm mainly doing this for me. I want you guys to keep in mind. But for me and for you, as we're equally gaining from this, if you're writing down every day and you're thinking, okay, that one little guy on that one little channel, he's writing down every day, and I'm writing it down alongside him. It's kind of like an interactive journey that we're going on here, hence the name. And I'm hoping that about a month into doing this, I've got maybe even just 5 of you guys that are every day following along, and we're somewhat on the same level. And if we're not on the same level, I would like to see the new guys saying, wow, your videos are really helping me, I'm 5 days in watching your videos, even if you watch them all at once or whatever. That's really cool for me. That keeps me going. I got my first subscriber today. Shout out to that guy. I forgot your name. I don't really prepare for these videos, if you can't tell. I press record, I read my journal entry, and I talk about what I did today. Today I did a lot of reality checks. I did one for you on camera. That's the way she goes. Now, I might be over 15 minutes, so you guys have a good night. Lucid dreaming, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.